Okay, so at the end of this live cast, you're going to understand how when you see those commercials that pop up every, 5-10 seconds during open enrollment, what those commercials are actually saying. So that's what you're going to find out, or you're going to know when you get off of this live cast, exactly what those commercials are saying. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play a couple samples, just a little bit of a couple of those samples of the, of the commercials that you're hearing. Okay, give me 1 second while I share my screen. And here's the first one.
Hi, it's me again. Listen to this. Medicare Part C plans with extra benefits like getting money added back to your Social Security check every month may now be available to you in your zip code. Make sure you're not missing out. It's simple. 1, call the number on your screen. 2, they'll look up your zip code and see if you're eligible. 3, they'll check for plans with extra benefits like prescriptions, dental coverage, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every single month. Call now.
Okay, so that is one of the commercials that many people have seen this past open enrollment. Here's another one. Let me put it back here to the beginning.
Hi, folks. Joe Namath here to alert you to an important Medicare deadline. You may be able to get Part C benefits, including prescriptions, transportation, meals, and coverage for dental work with extractions, fillings, even dentures, all at no additional cost. Plus, depending on your zip code, the benefit that adds money to your Social Security check every single month. Call to check your zip code and get what you deserve. It's free.
I call to save money on co-pays, get prescriptions, transportation, and my dental work covered. I couldn't believe I was spending money I don't have to spend.
I'm on a fixed income, so I called to get money added to my Social Security check. They helped me so much.
Before the Medicare open enrollment deadline, you may be able to get extra benefits and get money added to your Social Security check every single month.
All right, so once again, these I'm sure look very familiar to you. These are the commercials that you're seeing on your TV come across several times during the open enrollment season, October, November, December. So really, our phone really starts ringing a lot saying, hey, Suzanne, I just saw a commercial. I want to understand why the plan I'm on does not offer dental, does not offer vision, does not offer hearing. Now, with that situation, here's the way that those plans work. First of all, rest assured that we go through these plans when we decide to pick out which plan is the best plan for you. As you noticed, many of those commercials say Medicare Part C, as in Charlie, Medicare Part C. And some people will call in and say, well, Suzanne, I know I have A, I know I have B, I have a supplement, I have drugs. Do I need the Part C? So here's Medicare Part C is known as Medicare Advantage plans. So what you have to remember, if you have a Medicare supplement, which is typically a more expensive plan with better medical coverage, you cannot have a Medicare Advantage plan at the same time. It's an either or type setup, okay? So let's look at Medicare Advantage plans. Now, we have clients that we enroll in the Medicare Advantage plans. So I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong per se. I'm basically telling you that the way that this works is it's an either or. You cannot have both, okay? So Medicare Advantage plans, a lot of these commercials, for example, say it's a $0 monthly cost or a low premium. Now, low premium might be like some plans are $18 a month. Some plans are $25 a month, but there's a lot that are a zero premium plan. So with the zero premium plans, here is really what's going on. Yes, they do offer additional benefits like dental. So they might cover so much towards dentures. They may cover so much for glasses. Some of the plans give you over-the-counter products. Those over-the-counter products might be like an allowance that you get $100 a quarter to buy over-the-counter items. Some of them even have, and you probably saw in some of the commercials, they even have the like a grocery benefit. So like you get $50 a month for groceries. Those are Medicare Advantage plans. Now, when we look at the difference, and let's dive into this, Medicare Advantage plans give you those perks, but you've got to look at the medical coverage, the coverage for inpatient care, outpatient care, surgeries, x-rays, MRIs, CAT scans, chemotherapy, radiation. So you have to compare not just all those extra benefits, look at the medical coverage, okay? So the medical coverage typically has a much larger out of pocket. So when the commercials are coming on, they're talking about all the extras. What they really don't do is deep dive into the coverage for medical. Doctors, hospitals, x-rays, CAT scans, MRIs, and things like that, okay? So on the medical side, typically you have a much higher out of pocket. A lot of the plans, depends on which one you go with, a lot of the plans have a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 out of pocket maximum. So that is a big deal for people that are used to having a Medicare supplement, which is what a lot of you have on this call, which is a higher premium, a low out of pocket. If you go to a Medicare Advantage, yes, you get all these extra items, but now your coverage, you're having more out of pocket cost up to $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, depending on what plan you pick for doctor visits, x-rays, surgeries, inpatient hospitalization. Also, with Medicare Advantage, the things that you have to really take into consideration is the Medicare Advantage plans have networks of doctors and hospitals. That is one of the things that are most important, because someone might call and say, hey, Suzanne, I want to make sure I keep all my doctors, and I travel to Florida, and I go out to California, and I've got kids here and kids there. I want to make sure I can really see any doctor, any hospital, anywhere that takes Medicare. Well, then the Medicare Advantage route is probably going to cost you more in the long route, because you possibly could go out of the network. So you want to be very, very careful if you go to a Medicare Advantage, because you will have network restrictions. So that is a kind of a high overview of those plans. So I'm not saying they're right or wrong, because they're the right fit for certain people. But you've got to be careful when you're watching, one of these commercials where it says, call this number, call that number. Really what they're trying to do is get you to call, and then for you to change from your current plan to maybe one of these other plans, which are Medicare Advantage plans. Now, here's something else we want to talk about is, and this was a big one this past open enrollment. As you saw on both of those commercials, call now, maybe you'll get money back in your Social Security check. And I got a lot of phone calls going, Suzanne, how to get my money back? Well, really, if you listen really, really close, the commercials say for certain zip codes, and you have to fall in a certain income guideline. So a lot of times, if you don't fall within that specific zip code, and we remember we have 88 counties in Ohio. So we have a lot of different zip codes. And these Medicare Advantage plans all are by county in which you reside. So you might see a TV commercial that comes on, but that particular commercial or those particular benefits might only really be available for people in Northeast Ohio, because each plan is by county in which the client resides. So I just don't want you to get like, well, why are we not, why does Suzanne not tell me I could get this, Part B premium back in? Because remember, it really goes by zip code and by county. Now, here's the thing, is the question you might get is, well, if I'm on a Medicare supplement, would I ever want to go to a Medicare Advantage plan? And that's a great question, Because if I go to a Medicare Advantage plan, I could get those extra benefits for dental and vision and hearing and things like that. Here's what you have to understand, okay? Now, many of you probably remember when we originally spoke, I've told you before, I'm a visual person. So I always use my ladder example because I'm a visual person. So if you think of a ladder, at the very top of that ladder is a Medicare supplement. Okay, very top of the ladder is a supplement because you cannot get higher or better coverage than a Medicare supplement. A Medicare Advantage plan is down the ladder. Okay, so many of you that are on a Medicare supplement, if you move to a Medicare Advantage and you decide you want to go back up to a supplement, it may be difficult to do that. Okay, so here's what you have to think about is why would I want to leave my Medicare supplement to go to a Medicare Advantage plan? Now, here's what I see clients that do that. Typically, clients that move from a Medicare supplement to a Medicare Advantage plan. Here's where the kind of clients I really see do that. Typically, it's clients that just can no longer afford the premiums. Because as you're aware, as a Medicare supplement, as you age, unfortunately, the premiums go up on Medicare supplements. So let's say you're 85 years old and you no longer can really afford that Medicare supplement. You might want to move down to a Medicare Advantage plan just so you don't cancel out for no reason, if that makes sense. So that would be the main reason that I see people that want to go from a Medicare supplement down to Medicare Advantage. Now, rest assured, we have all of these same plans that every one of these commercials are talking about. So when you call the number, that 1-800 number at the bottom of those TV commercials, all that's doing is taking you over to an insurance agent to shop for a better insurance plan for you. So let me kind of just tell you what happened this past open enrollment. I had one of my clients call me, her and her husband called me, and she said to me, Suzanne, I don't know what I did, but I saw this commercial on TV and it said I got free hearing. It said I would get free hearing aids if I called this number, this 1-800 number. And she said, I called this 1-800 number. I told them I wanted the free hearing aids. And they went ahead and they must have done something because I just got a card in the mail for this new insurance. So I started digging into it, and what she had done is she had called the number off of one of these commercials, talked to an agent, and they had disenrolled her from her current plan to enroll in an Advantage plan just to get that hearing aid benefit. But what she didn't understand is the plan she was on was a Medicare supplement. And with her going on that supplement with her going on a Medicare Advantage plan and buying, getting the prescription drugs and everything, that took her off of her supplement and her drug plan that we originally had. So when her and I talked about it, I said, well, I understand you did get that $3,000 for hearing, but now the plan you just signed up for, instead of you having a $233 deductible on your supplement, you now have an out-of-pocket projection if you was to have a bad year, an out-of-pocket maximum of like almost $5,000. So that's where you have to be careful. The Advantage plans can throw in these extra items. However, you have to dig. We have to make sure we understand the medical coverage. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just show this other screen here. This is just a little comparison that I kind of put side by side. It kind of is more of a visual. So if you're looking here, let me just see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. Oh. Okay, so the Medicare supplements and the Medigap, basically those two words mean the same thing, and many of you know that. Medicare Advantage is over here. So if we compare the two kind of on a side by side, so your Medigap, of course, Medicare pays first. You can go to any doctor, any hospital that takes Medicare. Medicare pays first. And then the bill gets submitted over to your Medicare supplement or your Medigap company. Okay. Now, Medigap, remember, Medicare supplement, you're paying a higher monthly premium for this. All depends on your age. So it could be anywhere between $110 to $200, a little bit higher depending on if you're older, because remember, we all know it goes up with age. The prescription drugs, remember, you have to have a prescription drug plan, the Medicare Part D, in addition to Medigap. And of course, your out of pocket is very, very minor on the Medicare supplement Medigap plans. A lot of you have the Plan G, which means you have that $233 deductible. Once again, you can go to any doctor, any facility that takes Medicare with the Medigap. Okay, now let's put it side by side. Medicare Advantage. So you still have to keep your Medicare A and B. You still have to pay the Part B premium. And that's another thing is some people say, well, Suzanne, I'm paying a zero cost. I don't pay for my Part B. Well, you're probably drawing Social Security and they're pulling that money out. You just don't realize that you're paying that Part B because you have to continue to pay the Part B, even if you sign up for Medicare Advantage. Okay. With the Medicare Advantage plan, basically you have your premiums at zero to low. I mean, really, we don't see Medicare Advantage plans in this area over here, any of them really over $100. You're looking at zero cost or up to, like I said, 20, 30, $40. There's a lot of different options, but they're a low to zero cost. Most all of them have the prescription card included. So they're not paying a premium separate for their drug plan. So whatever that plan covers their prescription wise, that's how their prescriptions are covered. But once you can see here, as long as you stay in the network, you then have your deductibles and copays anywhere between, and like I said, this is a wide range because it depends on what plan you go with. Anywhere between $3,500 and $6,700, that's in network. But if you go out of network, a lot of those plans have $11,000 out of pocket. That's what you have to make sure you understand. And then your doctors and hospitals, once again, this is where we talk about the network. In network, of course, that's a lower out of pocket. Out of network, it's more expensive. So hopefully this side by side kind of just helped give you some example, a visual where you can see it. Okay, so that was what the things I really wanted to make sure that we talked about. So when you're watching these commercials, you understand.